So what are we doing this week?
This week we're looking at the Velvet Cap Blended Irish Whiskey. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt and I'm a whiskey nerd.
My name is Rose and I'm a whiskey noob.
And like I said, this week we're looking at the Velvet Cap Irish Whiskey coming from Blackwater Distillery. So let me get into the glass.
That's a fun name, Velvet Cap and Blackwater.
Yeah, so Blackwater are a relatively new Irish distillery. They've been working for about 3 years.
Okay.
And this is their kind of flagship whiskey.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Go for them. So they're pretty new then.
Yeah, and actually the 3 years thing is quite important because this isn't yet their whiskey.
Because you have to have 3 years in Ireland for it to become whiskey, right?
Yes, so I think this year in January marked about 3 years of them being in operation, of them distilling their own whiskey.
Okay.
So now some of their whiskey might be old enough to go into bottles, but they might leave it for maybe 4
So
years.
is this whiskey?
This is whiskey,
Okay.
yes. So this has been sourced from other distilleries.
I got you
Yeah,
now.
so they
sourced
source-
from other distilleries, but they're new and they should be coming out with their own whiskey soon.
Yes, now they might do what Connacht Distillery did.
Okay.
They waited until their whiskey was 4 years old before they put it out.
Yeah, you don't need to put that right at the 3 year mark, right?
Exactly, yeah. So they might wait a bit longer and then put out their own whiskey. But this has been sourced from 2 different distilleries. It's a blend of malt and grain. It's 50% malt and 50% grain.
I love grain. Do
Yes.
I like malt?
You like some malts.
Some malt.
Some
okay.
malts. Yeah, so you're going to get a lot of the kind of the grain sweetness, kind of sugary sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
But then the maltiness gives you a little bit of maybe funk, a bit of caramel, a bit of rounder notes.
Okay.
So it should be quite nice. And what they've done interesting about this is they finished it in kind of 3 different casks.
Jesus, that's a lot of casks.
Yeah.
So what are the casks?
Yeah, so it's actually the 3 casks are bourbon,
Uh-huh.
port, and stouted rye.
Oh, okay. So the first 2 sound like they're going to be sweet, but the stouted rye, would stout be like chocolatey?
Yeah, so from the bourbon, you're going to get kind of vanilla sweetness, maybe a little bit of oak spice, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
From the port, you're going to get maybe some red berries, maybe some cocoa powder, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
From the rye casks, you would probably get maybe some menthol, vanilla, eucalyptus, kind of some herbal notes as well as some spicy notes. But because some stout was put in those casks, you might also get some coffee, chocolate, you might get some kind of deeper, richer notes as
There's
well.
a lot happening
So
right now.
there's a lot
I've already
going in
forgotten 90% of what you've just said.
Well, let's go into the nose and we'll see what you can pick out.
Okay. Well, it smells nice.
Yeah,
Would there be any vanilla?
there would definitely be some vanilla in here. So what kind of sugary sweetness are you getting? Caramel, like icing sugar?
Like caramel. Maybe some like hints of chocolate, maybe?
Yeah,
like
definitely see
dark,
a bit of chocolate.
dark cocoa powder.
Yeah, I'd say that definitely coming through there because you're going to get that from the port casks. You're going to get that maybe from the stout influence, a little bit in there, yeah.
Okay.
So what kind of fruitiness are you getting here?
I'd say
Are you getting like
pineapple. Like it's hard to say pineapple because I've never smelled a pineapple in whiskey before.
Yeah, it's
but there's something like that citrusy.
kind of tropical?
Yeah.
Kind of a bit of a... Yeah, there's definitely something else in there. A bit of maybe tropical fruits, bit of pineapple maybe.
There's a lot happening, but
Yeah.
it smells nice.
Yeah, because you're gonna get a lot of sweetness, but
Yes.
you're also gonna get that mixed with all those different influences.
Is it a velvety smell?
You could say it's a velvety smell, yeah.
Can we taste it?
Yeah, we can go.
Okay.
Quite eager to get in.
Oh my.
Oh my.
That is nice.
Yeah,
It is velvety.
it's velvety. Yeah, so it's very sweet. You're gonna get a lot of sugary notes, caramel notes. Are you getting spice?
A bit of spice at the end. Like
Yeah.
it's not super sharp at the end, so I
No.
think it's the spiciness that hits you at the back.
Mhm.
But like it's so fruity and like honey. Kind
Yeah.
of not syrupy.
It's kind of honey. It's got that kind of thickness to it. On the spiciness, you are getting a bit of that rye kind of influence, a bit of kind of maybe menthol. Let me go in again.
That's lovely. That's really lovely.
I'm also getting a bit of that cocoa powder again. That kind of almost drying out cocoa powder. It's not like a rich dark chocolate where you're gonna have the kind of sugariness, maybe a bit of milk in there.
Yeah.
It's that cocoa powder, slightly dry, slightly tannic, but very much
Oh
kind of chocolatey.
yeah, this is just lovely.
Yeah. So are you getting any fruitiness?
It's it's kind of hard to tell because it's sweet. It's not like overly sweet where I'd say like, oh my god, like there's obviously hints of like the caramel and honey and stuff like that, but it's not like, there's definitely other more natural, less like punchy sweets in there, but I'm not really sure what.
I'm getting, I don't know, maybe a little bit of apple. Do you want to go in again?
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of apple, maybe a little bit of orange, that sort of thing.
I could see that. More of a fruity sweetness rather than like a sweet.
Yeah. Now, typically with a port cask, I would always get like really dark kind of stone fruit, like plums, that sort of stuff. I'm not really getting that here. It's more on that lighter, sweeter kind of easy to drink kind of. Yeah.
Yes. It's got the velvety, smooth feel.
So now on the finish.
Yes. Oh, spice.
Well, go in again. And see,
again?
Yeah,
I've gone in several times.
What's the kind of flavour that hangs out the longest? What's the flavour that hangs out the least?
I'd say there's like some sort of spiciness to me, and some sort of like thick syrupy sweetness. So I don't know if it's like a honey or a caramel or one of those kinds of things. Like it's not really sharp. It's quite lovely.
Yeah, I'm getting that kind of. It's for me. It's a caramel. I'm getting that. As in you've just eaten some caramel. You're not really tasting the caramel, but you got that feeling, that kind of sugary, kind of mouth-coating flavour. Like, yeah. I'm getting a little bit of dryness, maybe a little bit of oak influence in there.
Oh, yeah, I get a little bit of dryness too.
Yeah,
but it's not bad.
Oh no, it's not bad. It's just, I wouldn't say it's very fruity on the finish. Like it's more that sweetness, it's more of that bit of dryness, it's more that maybe a little bit of oak coming through. Definitely still got a lot of vanilla there.
Yeah.
But it's not very fruity on the finish, I wouldn't say.
No. But I'm a fan. I might have like the rest of this later on in the evening.
Yeah,
it's
a very nice whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah, Velvet. Are they in Dublin?
No, so they're actually down in Waterford. They've actually got a couple of different products. So they've been making gins a lot now. And they have a couple of kind of interesting kind of experimental gins which have been very well reviewed. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of gin. I don't think you're the biggest fan of gin, so we haven't really gotten into their gin category. But from what I understand, it's very well regarded. So I am looking forward to seeing what comes out of their stills when they've had a chance to kind of produce it and age it all themselves.
Yeah, I want to give this another go when they've come out and they've matured their whiskey.
Yeah, because the idea for this, they said it was to be an easy to drink whiskey that's meant to enjoy, not to collect. They said you're supposed to open this bottle, share it, and drink it.
I'm going to call this the ladies' lover whiskey.
The ladies' lover whiskey. Yeah, so it's not meant to stay on a shelf. It's not meant to that. It's just meant to be drunk. It's not too expensive either. It comes in at about €40, so it's not cheap by any means, but it's also not an expensive whiskey. It's one that you can just enjoy. You can throw it into a cocktail, you can throw it in a drink, you can throw it into a glass,
and drink it.
And drink it.
So like in general, I'd say hella tasty, very velvety. You get a lot of like nice syrupiness throughout it, like that honey caramel throughout the entire thing from like start to finish. There's a lot of like general sweetness, got the fruity sweetness to balance off like the honey and caramel. And there's like other bits like the cereal notes, I think you're saying, like the rye was it that you were saying. So overall, like there's a lot of different flavors in it, but they're not like competing with each other. They actually meld together really nicely for a very nice drink. So I'd say if you just want something that's nice and smooth, maybe a little velvety, give it a go.
Yeah, I'd say that's it. It's an easy drink whiskey. That's what it's meant for. Maybe when they've had a chance to mature their own stocks, they'll put out something more experimental. In the years to come, they might get older age statement whiskies. But for now, this is a very good, very easy drinker whiskey.
Yes, as I keep drinking it.
As you keep drinking. All right. Well then, I think we'll keep on enjoying it.
Yes.
We put out new whiskey reviews every Wednesday and cocktail recipes every Friday. So check back for those. And until then, slán.
Bye bye.